can't really,
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, so I remember back in our apartment in KC, they like replaced the windows or whatever while we were at work. And it's like normal. They like do it to seal it and
Yeah,
everything, and it lowers costs, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, but these assholes who installed my window
Didn't seal it.
obviously broke the old one because I come back and I lay down in my bed and I'm like, that's sharp. And there's just busted glass all over my bed. Like they were
That's
kind enough to get
fucked.
they're kind enough to get the big pieces, but like no
Yeah.
note, nothing like that. They just all
Wow.
these like so I'm like picking out these little shards and I'm like, man, can't wait to like fucking wake up one morning and just a pint of blood is gone. Like
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Against the one.
109 messages. God, kill myself.
Sounds like you had a long weekend.
It was a good week, good ass weekend.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Can't wait to hear more
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about it when our
Bro.
scheduled
Our
recording.
scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
We planned days in advance.
My favorite part is this man was like, "Oh, Tuesday's perfect."
Yeah. Hey man, he's not wrong. Tuesday might be perfect. He might just be like yanking it. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude,
Save it for the pod, brother.
Yeah.
Ah! All right,
Save it for the pod. What do you mean? I'm doing the intro right now. Well, hello, ladies.
Fuck.
Welcome back to Alex hacking another day.
Do you smell that? It smells like Upgamer in here. What's up, gamers? Welcome to another episode of the 110 podcast. Yet again, Dursless. What's up with that?
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
We'll find out. Maybe he might show up. If he shows up, we'll put him in.
How fucking funny would it be if he told us Tuesday is perfect and he's just at volleyball right now?
It would not be the first time.
Yeah, it would not. It would
know?
not be. Well, gamers, welcome back to another edition of 1 to 10. We are one man down, and my lamplight bulb. I'm gonna unplug that.
So we're down a man, a lamp, and an AC unit. In my place.
We are fucking struggling.
I shaved my head.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I like it a lot, dude.
So it's funny. I think I did it as a consequence of not knowing yet that my AC unit was broke. I was just like, it's always hot, and just like it's too hot in here. I gotta deal with this somehow. So I shaved my head for the summer. Plus, I'm also like kind of balding in the front, so like I'm kind of trying to ride it out. You know, I got a compliment yesterday from a guy I work with.
I think it looks good.
Thanks, man.
You can definitely rock the clean top half.
It's not bad. I got some hair still. You know, I got it just grows back so fast. It's thick. It's dark. It's whatever.
It looks good. I think you rock that well.
Hey man, you rock your hair well too.
Thank you.
All right. Well, enough of us man crushing on each other.
Yeah.
Hey guys, not only is it dunk on Durs time, it's the boys are gonna kiss.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Only on the Patreons.
Guys, we have our fingers in front of our mouths going right now.
Yeah, verbal meme. So I'm just gonna jump into it with my least favorite topic, and the one
I tried to do this worst to best topics basically this week. So.
Yeah. So let's just jump into it. Fucking Johnny and Amber, it's over. I hope.
It was great content while it lasted, but thank God it's over.
It was good content the first week, and then like
the second to last week and the first week were awesome, and everything in between was garbage.
Yeah, and like it became increasingly worse when it was obvious that Johnny Depp is also an abuser and like
like
shit like
let's make a blanket statement here. We understand here at the 1 to 10 podcast that these are broken individuals on both sides, and whether or not one did more than the other, they are both fucked up. But it seems that one of them has done a little bit more reconciling with their behavior with the 6 years that passed from the initial time period till now.
You wouldn't call the Sandy Hook shooter worse than the Uvalde guy, all right? It's comparing apples to oranges.
What's the body count on each one? I mean, I think that actually does make them which one's which.
Just because someone's a little bit worse with their spray control, like, does not.
But also, what's the classroom ratio? Because I know I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna go there. I have a point.
I hate this topic. I'd rather talk about children dying.
Absolute tragedy.
So I think they both won. It's just Johnny won more. So Amber's
Amber's counterclaim got her $3 million awarded on one of her counterclaims, but Johnny's had like $15 million overall awarded. So, or no, sorry, it was 2 million awarded for Amber. So it's like 13 million negative, and she was saving the money that, which was the initial 7 million from the trial, which she allegedly said she pledged to donate. And she said she was donating. She didn't say she pledged to. She said she was donating. But then she never even did any of that. She didn't pledge it. She didn't do that. She kept the money for herself because she knew she was having this come up. So even with the 13 million thing and the 7 mil like back towards that way, she still owes $6 million.
Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't donate either.
And the court of public appeal, she's lost, my dude. Apparently every scene
over.
Well, that's to say apparently today it was announced apparently every scene from Aquaman 2 with her in it is gone. So
Aquaman 2 is somehow going to be worse than the first. Who would have thought?
Wait,
yeah,
first off, I don't think Aquaman 1 was even that bad.
It was not very good.
It wasn't great.
It was just boring.
Most DC movies are.
Let's be real.
At least the thing with Marvel movies, at least there's like 30 or 40 of them, so you can find like a couple good ones out of it.
Like, okay, Marvel standard has dropped a lot.
Though. Okay, so on my staycation last week, let's talk about that. On my staycation last week, I listened to, so on Cometown they talk about Wardell, right?
Yeah.
And Wardell, how he's on Chapo Trap House. And they talk about that shit. They say Chapo and shit. Okay, so I was listening to the Chapo review of Eternals because I have been so on the fence. I love Marvel movies to a degree.
Yeah.
And I also hate them sometimes for some things they do or cause. Clapping in theaters. We're looking at you
again. Big baby man child.
He snapped the gauntlet. Anyways. But basically, I've been on the fence about watching Eternals. It's the only one I haven't seen still. Like, I don't know why. Other than I've heard terrible things about it. So I'm just like, God, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole. So I finally listened to this Chapo Trap House video where they fucking tear the movie apart. And they're just like, it's about nothing, man. Like, that's the whole movie. And so I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Holy fuck, what a mess that movie was. It was not good. It was not enjoyable. I did not have fun. I wish I would not have watched it. Even the Harry Styles post-credit scene. Yeah. Even that little bullshit. Like, the problem is that so like Marvel at this point has come to like a desaturated point in time. I guess we're in the movie industry now and not on Johnny and Amber. Fuck them. But yeah, let's talk about that. So like Marvel's so like, you're digging so deep in character pool right now for people. Like, what's her face? America Chavez. And Doctor Strange, it's a pretty deep cut for a lot of people. The entire cast of the Eternals, who you have zero attachment to as popular characters. So, like, it's great that they're building this bigger universe, and they should build the smaller characters, but they shouldn't.
Not everyone needs a movie.
You shouldn't make a dog shit movie for a team that's going to be already kind of polarizing.
I mean, it's just that. Not everyone needs a movie.
Exactly. So I think it was just one of those things where it's like, because the first movies were these massive characters that are incredibly identifiable.
Yeah.
And have like long history with, like 4 or 5 generations of people, possibly even, you could argue. So like if you have like your Iron Mans, your Spider-Mans, your Captain America, your Thor, your Hulk, those are your superstars. And you did those first. And now you're on your fucking Moon Knight, which don't get me wrong, Moon Knight's one of my favorite B tier. Like he's one of my favorites, but they did him dirty. And that's like a whole other thing.
Yeah, I couldn't get through the first episode of that.
So I had to ironically watch a bad, funny review from a shitty podcast to even remotely try enjoying this movie, and I still couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I think like the thing with Marvel movies also is like back then, like when the first phase was happening, we did not get anything. Like it was all like, we didn't know it was connected. It was like being pieced together. Like movies would be announced maybe like the year before.
You would get like an occasional post-credit scene that was like a trickle of something where you would like, you had like in, I believe, Iron Man 2, you had the Avengers Initiative scene with Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson and stuff. That was like really hype. You had the post-credit scene of Avengers 1 where the first time we saw Thanos. You remember that too?
Oh,
like at the end of Avengers 1 when
no, I don't sit through the theaters that long. I just watch it on YouTube.
But if you have, if you watch it on YouTube, like you don't. Okay, fair enough. You probably don't remember. You don't have the attachment.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember at
all. Just seeing Thanos for the first time was cool, and that was a post-credit scene. Like they can do cool things with it, but like, it's also just such like. I don't know. I hate also the subversion of when they don't put a post-credit scene in, because now you're like waiting and you're like, why did I?
Dude, that's why
I think about it with other movies.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, did you hear about Morbius?
Oh,
because of it's Morbin time, and it's been Morbin time so much as a joke that it made it come back for in 1,000 theaters.
Yeah. Did you want to hear the revenue from average for each theater for that comeback? So per theater that it released, they averaged about $200. Yeah.
Even the meme couldn't save Morbius. That's
Dude,
so good.
I do love this of the like just the general public being able to convince these multi-billion-dollar companies to just take L's. I think we need to do more of that. Like
virality is a powerful
tool. Glup Shido to become a real character in Star Wars, you know, like
bro, have you let's you know what, we'll move it around. Let's just transition to that number 7 topic real quick here on that summer TV, because like why not? Star Wars. You've been watching Kenobi, right? You caught up?
Yeah.
Okay, I am too. Banger, right?
Okay, so there are some awkward scenes
like fucking Flea in Star Wars. Okay, so have you watched The Mandalorian also?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking about this with one of the listeners of the podcast, actually, I work with. He and I were having a discussion yesterday about how there is some people who are getting put into Star Wars that are famous exteriorly, and they work really well, and then there's others that are just kind of like
glub shido.
Put copy paste person or actor into Star Wars. So like the best example I think so far was in the Book of Boba Fett, when you had Thundercat playing the guy who did the cybernetics and stuff. And Thundercat's a super famous bassist who does like, you know, a lot of music, but he's really like, he's very iconic looking, like in the way he dresses, and they found a way to translate that well into Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he also, his role fit the character, like how he portrayed it.
Yeah.
Then you have Bill Burr in The Mandalorian season 1, and it was in season 2, I believe, technically, because he gets the whole band back together and that whole thing. But like his character arc was completed, and it was nice that it was. But it felt like in the first one that you were just copy pasting Bill Burr into Star Wars, and now you have come full circle where you have fucking Flea as a side character from Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, for the record.
Yeah, or uncultured.
Don't know why I'm saying Flea as if it should be common knowledge. It's a very popular American rock band, California.
For all our foreign listeners.
That one Ugandan listener out there.
You guys might have heard of this niche band called Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Don't you hate when you need to listen to music while going to buy sandals?
Don't you hate when hey oh I say let it snow?
Hey, he said it, not me. I can't do it for that long. I can do it for like I think the DMCA claim would be like, no, I'm kidding.
True. Oh, we don't want that to happen.
But again. So Flea felt weird, kinda, in the first little 2 episodes. How do you feel about the third sister as a character?
I think it's good. She's like a character you want to fucking hate. I like her a lot. I want to see her story.
Okay, so Sam and I have been talking about her a lot because Sam's like, I don't like her. I'm like, why? She's just too much. She's too evil. She's too like driven. Like,
that's the point.
And I'm like, that's the most Sith shit I've ever seen, brother. I'm like, I started reciting the Sith code, and I was just like, nah, man. Like, peace is a lie. There's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. I mean, like, she is the embodiment of what Sith in that era is.
Is like, I think this series is embodying like Darth Vader fully, because in the original movies and stuff.
Let's get there. Like, I want to talk about one thing before we go to the Vader thing.
I also have one thing I want to talk about. Before.
Okay. So go first with yours, and then I'll go with mine.
So I just want to go back to the awkward scenes and stuff, and maybe this is just because I hate children in TV and movies.
You don't like Child Leia?
I like her like dialogue and shit like that, but every scene where she's fucking running away and she's like pushing a small branch out of her face,
dude,
and
there was a scene where she was running and she was fucking bow-legged, and like the way she was running, she was like and I was like, don't do that.
I'm like, first of all, this looks like a 3-year-old child, not a 10-year-old child,
right? I mean, maybe she feels like she's like 6 or 7.
Like it's like dude, it's Lady Hasbulo running around out there.
The other thing I was thinking about too, a timeline of where we're at in the show.
Yeah.
And compared to
my sister asked me that because we were watching it together, and she was like, so is Baby Yoda alive? And I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, that's a hard question to answer because we technically don't know really what is going on.
Yeah, but like like Mandalorian too, and I was like, I don't think
so. Mandalorian's 5 years after the rise of the Empire. This, I believe, it's got to be more than 10 years because the kids were born.
It was like
so they're 10 years old now.
Yeah,
so it should
10,
be
yeah.
So this should be roughly 5 years after the Mandalorian.
Okay.
Which is
Whatever.
interesting.
Star Wars timeline.
I mean, it means weird because it means Boba Fett's been back while he was just on. Like, where's Boba Fett, the daimyo of fucking Tatooine, currently at while Obi-Wan is currently on Tatooine?
Yeah,
watching over. Like, he's keeping a low profile.
I can't wait
guess
for like the Disney storyboard director for Star Wars to like have
Filoni?
to sit down at an expo and explain the fucking timeline.
But he'll do it well.
He will. But
Dave Filoni's amazing. He wrote the Clone Wars, man. Like, he's the guy.
That's fair.
That's the fair. Guy who wrote the best stories ever in Star Wars. Like,
So yeah, my only gripe has just been the awkwardness with some things. Like,
you know what was real fucking awkward for me, plot choice wise, was the killing off of the Grand Inquisitor. So, like, have you watched Star Wars Rebels?
No, I haven't.
Okay, like so this is why I'm trying to form a proper opinion. I can't decide for myself because I haven't really seen the show, but I know enough about what goes on in it and who these characters are. And the Grand Inquisitor is he's like the main villain of that entire series. So for a character that powerful to be super underrepresented, in my opinion, and like what he actually is capable of, and that his death was very like sneaky, I think it builds great for the third sister. But I think it's just kind of nuts for me that like it
was super underwhelming. His death scene.
It felt underwhelming for me. Knowing what I know, I feel like it's underwhelming. But I feel like for a casual viewer who has no idea who he is, they might be fine with it, or they might. Think I don't know. I don't know. So
I haven't seen the Bad Batch yet, so like I'm watching this and I'm like, that seems kind of lame for this guy, but whatever.
The Bad Batch is pretty good though, apparently, because it's a little more violent.
I heard I know there's a Wookiee with a lightsaber.
Yes.
Yeah, then that I'm sold. I'm
about that guy for sure. I can't remember his name right now, but he seems pretty cool, man.
It's like it starts with a G.
Yeah, he seems cool.
It's Glut.
Okay, so let's talk about Vader then. Let's just chat about that, man. The fucking volcano castle scene. Holy shit! Peak Vader moment for me.
Is that the scene where he's pulling him through the fire? No, where he's sitting in it.
He's on his throne when he first gets contacted and does the hologram chat or whatever. And he's like, do it or else like your life, like you may never live to see it or whatever, all that shit.
Regret it.
But like, here's the thing for me: the choice of him to stay, I believe that's Mustafar, which is where
the same dude, isn't it?
No, what do you mean?
Isn't it like didn't they use like is it not voiced by the same dude?
Oh no, it's voiced by an AI.
Oh, okay.
I read that today actually in an article that it's being voiced by an AI for Vader's voice. But they did use Hayden Christensen for the scene where you saw him being like reassembled and in the tank and stuff. Yeah. That was him. Hayden talked about that in an interview, I believe, that I watched. But no. So what I was saying is for the character of Vader, the lava planet that he was on with the castle.
Yeah.
I believe that is Mustafar, the planet where he experienced the accident that made him the way he is. So he has built a fortress on top of the incident, essentially, where it took place. I think it's like a way of only making him stronger. But like Obi-Wan in episode 3 having to face the ghost of his past, and that line where Anakin just straight up says, "I am what you made me." Yeah. Oh my god. Peak Vader moment. Like, also, and then just murdering everyone in the street right before that.
Yeah.
That was nuts. I was like,
this series is exemplifying, like, because when you watch the original movies, like everyone's afraid of Vader, everyone's like terrified of him, but like when you watch it, like the scenes he's in, it's like, okay, like he doesn't seem like the most like he's ordering people to do these evil things, and then like you get into this series and he's like dragging people out of their houses.
Yeah, we are at peak evil of Vader, I think, right now.
Yeah,
from what we've ever seen in
anything else.
I would say in animated or movie form. I would say maybe in an extended universe book, you've seen some cruelty, but this is like the peak. Like this is the highest level of which he has demonstrated just absolute raw, like willing to do evil.
This is the Vader that
he killed like 3 to 4 people in the streets.
It's nuts. So fucked up because you know how like evil you have to be to kill a father, then his son, and then leave the mom alive. That's like it.
I mean, like we always made like jokes about before with the prequels before the new trilogy came out about how like there was a thing like about how he was a boogeyman amongst the Sand People because when he butchered the whole the whole whatever tribe. Yes,
Yeah.
that's racist, my brother in Christ. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's my
the
people.
Tuscans, the Tuscan Raiders. Yeah. So when he murdered the Tuscans, they essentially made like a like, hey, don't go outside late at night or don't wander too far from the encampment. The boogeyman will get you, and like, you know.
Yeah.
That was Anakin then. So that kind of thing was always like, you know, the darkness of which he could cast a shadow of. This is a full display of what he is going to do or what he's capable of these days. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Have you watched
episodes?
I believe it's gonna be 6.
That's a like 6. perfect amount. Like nice.
Do you feel it could have been a movie instead, like a longer movie, like a 3-hour one?
2-part special.
I wouldn't have wanted that.
I
would have rather not done like 2.
Like here's the thing. I think any movie going over like 2 hours is like already kind of like a little too long of a runtime.
I don't know. If it's the right thing, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Like I had trouble with Batman, but like with Avengers Endgame, that was easy. I would have done that.
Yeah,
I would have done that twice.
Avengers Endgame is like the culmination of like years. So like that's
10 years of sucking Tony Stark's dick. Okay. Enough of that series, and let's talk about.
We love Obi-Wan on this.
We do. Star Wars is great, but let's not give Disney too much credit.
But my only want for the series, I want a Qui-Gon ghost because that's the best Jedi.
Oh yeah, dude. We've already kind of hinted that he's trying to reach out to him, so he might be successful at some point when he's more dire or desperate. Because things seem to keep crazy, man.
Last thing, how are you feeling like watching a prequel where you know everything works out in the end?
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this like a couple days ago, actually. Since I just watched 2 and 3 last night, so I'm pretty fresh on those. I only watched 1 prior to Sam going on vacation. So
I watched all 3 yesterday.
Perfect. So for me, I was thinking prior about how I would feel once I had watched these versus how I was only after watching the first one, particularly in relation to that thought, particularly because of Rogue One. Rogue One had a certain kind of effect on me where I went into it worried about like how like what is this shit? What could this possibly fucking be? Right? Yeah. And then I watch it and I was like, okay, there was an undertone of me knowing, but like at a certain point I did kind of just forget that I would know that they're all gonna fucking die. So like that I started to feel that with the first one, but now that we are going down the route we're going down, I don't even care. Like I don't care knowing that he's building up to being Alec Guinness one day's Obi-Wan, and that confrontation, seeing this moment where he, like watching the moment where he realized that Anakin was alive still and seeing him with his own eyes was insane. And I could never have asked for anything better. And that's why I can't be like, I don't feel fatigued. I don't feel fatigued knowing that there's a different result at the end.
I think I had the best viewing of Rogue One because I went in so stoned I didn't realize it was from that era. I thought it was like the part of the new trilogy.
And then you found out at the end of it what was going down and how it
At the end I was like, why the fuck is Darth Vader in this shit?
And then you're just like, what are those droids doing to go save that fucking Leia bitch? And you're like,
people look
what?
Familiar.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, wait. They said a lot of good people died to get these plans in episode 4 before. Those are the good people who died.
When I saw like the ending and like the familiar characters coming back, I was like, oh, makes sense why the black guy wasn't in this for so long.
Jesus, man. We love you, John Boyega.
We do. You're the best part of the trilogy.
So let's go on to different production companies, big bad. And let's talk about this. Have you seen any of?
Let's go from one evil to a new one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Netflix. I've not seen any of the new.
You're not a Stranger Things boy. Okay.
I mean, I've heard good things about it. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm catching up. I
watched all 7 episodes that are currently out. So there's going to be 9 total for this season.
Yeah.
7 are currently out. I watched all of them in a day and a half. I got off work early on a Friday just because work was doing that. Started watching then. Saturday morning I finished. Holy fuck, man. Sam's rewatching it now. I'm gonna go like sit a ways away and pop and watch that shit.
Socially distanced.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna sit and watch that again because you know what? That shit fucking bumping. It's good, man. It's good. I highly recommend it for those who are hesitating on trying it or considering it.
So one thing I kind of saw on Twitter that like really like Didn't Russell mind Jimmy's because I don't really have a dog in this horse.
Mm-hmm. I got a dog in this horse in this cat race, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somebody was like, there was like a viral tweet. And it was like Netflix should have done it like weekly because that would have kept the hype going. And I'm like, I remember distinctly years ago when they would do that, people bitched about it. You know?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I think for the right thing, people would have liked it, and for other things, they won't.
Yeah.
But what I'll say that I think they did right is after the 7th episode finished, I at first I was like, okay, it's another half a season, and then I found out mid viewing that it was only 2 more episodes, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, well, there's a rumor the last episode's 2.5 hours long. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know if I want that either. Then it finished where it finished, and I was like, okay, so I have a perfect amount of viewer fatigue where like I got to watch a lot, and the logical stopping point where they're going to stop for this last stretch of this season, I think this is probably the best place they could have stopped.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe I've been getting. That's what I'm kind of getting out of it. And then I also have been, since watching, which it's been now, what, like 9 days? 9 days since I've watched like the episodes. I still every day I'm like, I can't fucking wait for those last 2. I'm considering taking a day of vacation on the first when they come out, just so I can get up and watch them, eat my cereal, and just fucking watch. That's what I want to do. So I'm probably going to. Like fair. It's possibly a long holiday weekend, then a 4 days for me. So
when's the next holiday?
July 4th, baby. That's a Monday.
Oh shit!
So I'm taking off for Friday the 1st.
We're speed running 2022.
Dude, we're speed running the holiday season now that the first holidays happened. I'm like, damn, we got vacation. I just had a vacation. Then I'm gonna have like the 4th weekend. Then I have another vacation at the end of July.
Yeah.
So I've been busy, you know, and planning
Stranger Things final season out of 10.
Oh, it's not a final season. Apparently now also the 5th season is underway in the way of so they did an interview the day before the release of season 4's volume 1, and the Duffer Brothers, the guys who created it, said that the 5th season, the final truth 5th season, is going to be a lot less wait time between 3 and 4 comparatively, like maybe a year or 2 at most, rather than 3 or 4 years. Because they already have the season outline in front of Netflix.
Wow.
So they're the very clear point where they were upon releasing their most recent product of where they will be next. And also I wanted to say, I think that's kind of what I've noticed these big Netflix productions is they're very transparent about where they're at in their process. Cobra Kai did the same thing when season 4 was about to release. You know, we are big fans of Cobra Kai here, but they literally said we're filming season 5. Podcast. They were literally filming season 5 when season 4 came out. I was like, love it. Love to see these like I can tell where we are at in this happening for me. And I like that transparency as a viewer. So we won't build too much more on that. Summer TV is lit. Also check out The Boys on Amazon. If you guys haven't seen that.
Have you watched that yet?
Not the new ones, but I've seen the other seasons.
So let me just say my piece with this.
Yeah,
this has probably been the most like over the top season because you know
it's more vulgar and bloody than before.
More vulgar, blood. There was a scene where I had to avert my eyes, for like a solid minute.
That's like a minute 30 for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Like
okay. I'm gonna give it.
It's good. It's good. It's super good. This is probably the best so far.
Okay. I'm excited because I love Jensen Ackles and I can't wait to see him as Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like I do like him, and I saw that little like teaser they did with him or the promo thing where he was like getting asked questions and he was just being a fuck, and I was oh, I've always wanted this for him. So and you know, with him like being on Supernatural. This is like big claim to fame. So you don't get much. You get the Dean range on him, and I did like that show. So I get that from him, the brooding guy.
Supernatural was really good for a few seasons.
5 seasons.
And then
Supernatural was good for 5 seasons.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. There we go. There we go.
Okay. I'm gonna go with this rant now. I'm sorry. I gotta.
Love you here.
We're talking about TV. Might as well throw it in there. So Jensen Ackles is one of my. I love the brooding actor. I love Dean. I loved Supernatural for the first 5 seasons. Watched it weekly with my parents on cable television. Guy. Oh, you were a Sam guy? I'm a Dean guy. I'm sorry. After the shit with Ruby where he started giving into drinking demon blood and stuff, I couldn't ever look at Sam the same way again. If I'm being really honest.
No, that's fair.
That was my breaking point for him.
That's fair.
So Eric Kripke, the writer, that's a fucking 12-year-old season at least. Fuck off. Okay. So Eric Kripke, the writer of the show, went on record and has said in interviews that it was supposed to end after season 5. That's where he had like the story planned out to. So everything with Lucifer
What
possessing
was season 5?
Lucifer possessing Sam, and then Dean and then Adam also had like their brother got possessed by Michael, and then they both fell into the pit at the very end. And then if you would have cut that scene, because Dean moves on and goes and like finds his girl and like settles down to be with the kid and the girl and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't have had that post credits thing, or basically the ending scene where you flash to Sam like looking at from the outside of the house because he's back on Earth.
Yeah.
If you would not have done that, then it would have been fine. You could have ended it right there, and it would have been a perfect ending.
What, you don't
and then
like
you
the
had
turducken season?
There was a turducken season.
Oh, dude, there's like this whole thing of like I don't know what fucking hell creatures it was.
Oh,
but they're like, yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's season 7, and it's like they start with an R, and they were like the black like slimy ooze eel people or whatever. Yeah, I remember that shit. Though that was a terrible season. The Leviathans. It was the Leviathans. Holy fuck, I hated the Leviathan season. That was where they lost me actually. Because it was a cool lead up to like at the end of the season of Castiel absorbing all that power and trying to become like new god, and then it turned the next season.
Becomes gay.
No, then they turned him into shreds, and they did turn him gay. But that's the real thing, though. Hang on, wait, what the fuck? He's bi. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, in the show, doesn't he go to hell because he's gay? I never finished the show.
No. See, I never did either. That you lost me for last spot, like major plot spoiler point for a fucking Supernatural for those who care about that shit.
Bro, that's you on the edge of your seat.
Jesus fuck. Okay, so the season where they finally like they go through a whole thing of explaining that there's like a darkness through the mark of Cain, and then the next season they reveal that it's God's sister, and then they reveal that Chuck, who was that prophet from the early seasons, was actually God the whole time. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore, man. Like there's too much shit going on. I think God and his sister left. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
The amount of blasphemy and misogyny that show managed to crank out in the last half.
Jesus Christ, you're not even wrong.
Yeah.
All right, enough on TV. Let's go on let's go on to something better. Well, it's kind of TV related. It's TV adjacent.
We like that.
So let's talk about sports anime. Yay or nay? So Durs isn't here, so this is a better topic actually, because he would just say I haven't watched any.
I don't watch nerd anime.
I don't watch anime, so I don't watch sports anime.
I only watch Attack on Titan.
I have to watch the Blues game.
Yeah, true. We will miss him for that segment.
True. We don't need him to carry us on this one because this is more of a. We'll get there. But you know what? This segment and that segment will be related because I have a sports anime that I've been watching that's got me. Preface: I did not like sports anime.
Not even Haikyuu.
I dunked on Haikyuu for being like it. Cause I watched one scene where I was like, that was intense, but this wants to be a shonen so bad. But it is a shonen.
Well, it is a shonen.
Exactly. And then I was like, wait, this is a shonen. It's just a sports shonen. Have you watched Kuroko's Basketball?
Bro, Jake.
Kuroko no Basket?
Kami.
Yes. No, you should. You should. Yeah. Holy fuck.
Is it good?
Dude, it's
Isn't
a fucking
that
hitter.
A shonen as well?
It is. So it's all on Netflix, number one. So and also the dub is actually good. Love to see when those things happen. No, it's got a good sub, obviously, but like when the dub is good too, it's like, damn, okay, that's a hitter.
Yeah, like it's nice when a dub is good because sometimes I want to watch something without like fully.
Oh, I'm watching it dubbed. I'll admit it. I'm watching it dubbed, fine. And it's sick. So very beginning concept, it starts going right away with its plot. It explains it very well from the get go. You get your characters very quickly, and it just starts going right away.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. And then they do, like, time skips, but properly. They're just like, okay, so our next tournament is in 3 months. And they're like, cool, here's a 30-second segment of them doing different trainings for 3 months. And then now you're at that time. So it's exactly, there's no wasted time. It's all gas, no brakes. And I'm just like, that's okay. Amazing. And it's really cool.
This is a good question. It's kind of hard since you already do like basketball, but does this make you want to watch more of it?
More basketball?
At like different levels, yeah. Because I know you've already kind of like, you've always had like
I
an
went,
affinity for it.
Yeah, I mean, I played for like 5 or 6 years, so I have like a connection to the game and a lot of attachment to it. And like, of all the ball sports, it's the one I spent the most time with, so I think I have the most understanding of it. So I can just appreciate it.
Okay.
But I also kind of went through a phase around the Olympics last year where I was watching a lot of Olympic level or like other kind of international level sports. I did a lot of volleyball, which is where I first actually was like the Japanese men's volleyball team with Yuji Nishida and all these other like
hype.
dude, they are so hype. They are so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I kind of understand Haikyuu now. And that was when I started watching Ice Shield 21.
Haikyuu made me want to start watching volleyball, and now I follow like Volleyball World, all this shit.
Oh yeah, dude, I love the international volleyball. Shit, that shit's so cool. Like
when they dude, the volleyball TikToks are hype. They just show the craziest plays. It's like,
you know me, I'm not giving my information to the CCP.
That's
right. I'm giving it to American company Instagram Google and YouTube, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
You get my YouTube short money, damn it.
There you go. The YouTube shorts are lit too.
Yeah. So I've turned a new leaf on sports anime recently. I'm considering watching Haikyuu soon. But for me, watching Kuroko Basket is
you know what would make you like Haikyuu probably a lot more.
Go for it.
Is at the end of every season they condense it down to like an hour-long movie. And it's fucking perfect. It cuts out all the bullshit.
So what you're saying is I could skip everything.
You can literally that website for One Piece where it cuts the filler down as much as possible.
I'm familiar with many websites that do that for miniseries. Yes.
Yeah, so it's that, except officially licensed.
Do you know when I found out that was like being a true degenerate? Is when I found a guy who took time on like a WordPress to write a filler list for every series of Japanese Power Rangers. I was like, that guy is my hero, but also get a fucking life, bro, because I can't even condense that. I can't watch that much of it.
Yeah, so I was down bad when I was looking up watch orders for Monogatari because there's 6 different ways you can enjoy that series.
I don't even want to get into watch orders. Let's not touch Fate or Monogatari or anything like that. Let's never go there. I love a good continuity, but I love a consistent continuity.
This is where we make our pact to be the first and last time we bring up those shows, except for the toothbrush scene.
There's also that one really cool fight from Baka Monogatari that has like the paint splatter on it. You know what I'm talking about? That fight's really cool. So I would say that's a fun fight to watch, no context. Okay, so let's hop into the STL and also not STL sports segment. So the Blues are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We lost.
Yeah, happens.
Called it. It was a 4-2. No, 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was wrong technically, which makes me equally disappointed. No, equally disappointed. Yeah. You know, just the Blues are out. It sucks. So there's 4 teams left. I think you and I both probably agree that the Avalanche are going to continue on and probably win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's the Avalanche. It's the Rangers and the Jet or Lightning are still playing.
Yeah, and the Lightning have won the last 2 years, right?
They did, and right now the Rangers are up in that series, which would be really cool to see them.
I would love to see them upset them and then lose to the Avalanche, because then I would feel that's how I'd feel the best about our run. Especially with Bennington getting injured, like in the second to last game we played or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that shit was dog shit. So
also, like, just like there's like 2 original 6 teams, maybe 3, I guess now, that are just utter dog shit, and it's like the Rangers, the Leafs, and like the Red Wings.
It would be good to see that the Rangers rise back up for a year or something like that.
I love
not to a finish, to a fucking loss in the final.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it means they're the best in one league, not the best of the whole fucking damn league.
For sure. Because like, I mean, when you talk to hockey fans of those teams, like every time they're having a down year, they start bringing up like 1958, and it's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah,
like, I don't care.
We're a strong organization.
Yeah, like I bring up Cardinals World Series, but that's because we won 2 in my lifetime. You fucking clowns! Like, get out of here.
Yeah, there's also like eras within the whole like org.
That's
where you can talk about like the original eras where we won multiple times. You can talk about the eras in between. You talk about the Mark McGwire era
of greatness. If your era of greatness was beating the other 5 teams that existed at that time, it wasn't an era. You just got your due.
All right, well, you qualified because you paid the money.
Yeah, you got 5 plumbers.
Now go get your children and send them to the factory. They need to work. This is the 20s, baby.
Yeah, you have like 2 dudes who sent their sons to go fucking work at the factory while they like put knives on their boots.
Yeah, dad's being a fucking umpire while the kids are fixing the coal machines.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Onto a better sport once again. Let's talk about basketball. Let's go, baby. Okay, so the NBA Finals: Celtics versus the Warriors, 1-1. Game 3 is tomorrow night.
Yes,
looks hype. Any thoughts?
I'm trying to remember what the score of what game 1 was, but I know game 2 was a total blowout because I was kind of watching that, or was a blowout.
If you literally Google NBA Finals, it will show you the scores of the two. I just remember seeing them earlier.
Well, remember what I told you? My Google's been having this issue where every time I like try to Google sports, it all comes up in Japanese.
That's a real thing. Like you were being
Dude,
genuine. Like that's a real problem in your experience. I thought you were kidding.
No, dude.
What the fuck?
Every time I Google, like if I type in like Tampa Bay Lightning,
yeah,
it just shows up in Japanese for me, and like it's a bitch.
Okay. So game 1 was 120 to 106. Game 2 was 107 to 88.
Yeah. So like this has been an ongoing issue, I think, with like the playoffs towards the end. It's like it's just been kind of like a blowout here, then a blowout back, and like that's cool. But I think like this goes back to what I say about like CS. I'd rather have like a 4-0 where it's decided by 2 points every game rather than go to like 7 games but teams are losing by 10 to 20 in the last like stretch or whatever. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I agree with that fully, because I think you can have some really exciting things happen when you have these stories where, like, say the first game is a blowout, right, and then the next game is a blowout. Now you have this. It's like, okay, this team beat this team by 12. Now this team beat this team by, what is that? Just shy of 19. It's 19 points. So
Yeah.
your first Celtics wins by 12. Then the Warriors win by 19. And they have better defense, it looks like, because there's less. Well, there's less points scored by both sides, so it looks like maybe the Celtics had better defense from the scoreline alone. Like you can build a good storyline off of these narratives on either side of it, of that. But I will say, I think that that's a fallacy of a take, only because something that I definitely agree with is that you can be the guy. Like, let's say League World Finals, there's a 3-0, right? But every 3 of those games is close. 5 years later, new fans come in, no one gives a fuck. No one cares. True. They don't look at the scoreline. They look at the series line. They might look at the game order. They might, if they want to get into it, look up VODs or highlights. But they're not going to they're not going to live the same experience of those who are currently watching. So I think the cycle of how a series builds as the games develop. And we talk like how we did when we talked about the Blues the night of the injury happening, where we had predictions, we had thoughts, and then it changes with the game happening. The same thing happens in these circumstances where you're in the middle of a 1-1 series with these blots. Yeah, sure, they might be tired and some sloppier play might be happening, but it also could mean now, because of this, that this next game could be ultra hype and both teams are playing tighter than they have because they want revenge on the other. And like, there's just so much possibility.
Game 3 is going to be huge for the series. Like,
plus, I genuinely, like, I know it sounds dumb to say this, but I genuinely think the Warriors and the Celtics are the 2 best teams from their each represented division this year. So I think it is this is the best possible thing we could get.
I think in the West, it's for sure been the Warriors. I don't know who else was really like.
Clippers look like shit. I don't know. LeBron didn't look that good this year. So
yeah, I mean, and then like the East is always a crapshoot. Like if Jimmy Butler wasn't trying to do it all by himself, and like you know me, I'm a J Butt fan.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out J Butts. He's gonna get a chip eventually. But yeah, I agree. I agree. These are probably the 2 best teams right now to go head to head.
Yeah. And it's an entertaining product.
It's been awesome watching these super squads not make it anywhere near. Like the Lakers didn't make it.
Yeah,
the Nets didn't make it.
I think it's good to see that the Clippers didn't touch shit either. Like no one is. Yeah. But I think it's I think the closest thing in modern basketball to a super team that you're allowed to have is the Warriors. You know? Yeah. Because they kind of have these core foundations, but the core, that's what I'm saying, a successful super team, I mean. So that's why the Nets aren't successful, is because they have a bunch of the names, but they don't really have this core identity to them, where the Warriors still have retained the core and added other pieces into the mix. So I feel like it's one of those things where you can definitely contend and actually win, whereas the Nets are going to need a couple years to work out that kind of synergy first. And maybe next year they are a contender. You know,
if it's a couple years, James Harden's just going to start putting on the pounds again and just try to get traded.
Hey, let's go.
Yo, Big Beard was the best era of James Harden.
By far. I mean, I don't think I've actually genuinely. I mean, I've talked about Harden since then, but that's when I talked about Harden.
That's what I'm saying. Big boy James.
He was killing it. He was killing it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be spicy. I think Game 3 is going to be the spiciest of all the games, no matter how far the series goes to, though, because this is a game that I think sets the tone.
I think you're right. I think it's a very critical point in the series at this point, because I think that's the kind of thing that you were saying with the blowouts, having a 12 and then a 19 point from both sides of a lead is not a close game. Yeah. Also, Kuroko's basket, you're going to get a lot of close games, baby.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
saying,
love to
just
hear it.
saying. Anime. Oh, it's like someone wrote it. It's like a script. Oh. Yeah, man. No, 3 will be good. 3 will be good. All right, let's move it on to the esports roundup.
Yes, yes.
Roundup. It just broke. It broke.
Okay. Do you want to kick us off with
Yeah,
the
I'll do the
league
league part. You do
portion?
the CS stuff this week.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
So not too much to talk about in league comparatively. Parm's gonna get the big share of the show for the CS stuff because you had a crazy weekend. It sounded like.
It's a good time.
Dude, that was I didn't know you were there. So we'll get there.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
get there. So MSI finished. It ended up being as predicted, China and Korea in the finals. Sadly for our protagonist Faker and his team of Koreans out of T1, they did not win. They lost the series 3-2 to RNG. So congratulations to RNG first off for doing that.
Congrats.
And then in a crazy turn of events, that's something we've never really seen in League before. Maybe in CS and other things we could see something like this, but this has never been seen in League before, I think, or something like this exactly. The top laner for RNG, the winning team of the international event and China, by far the most competitive league, his name's Bin, was announced to be released for trade with Weibo Gaming, which is Weibo is essentially YouTube in China. So they own an esports team in League, and they had him apparently on a contract for a loan when he was given to RNG. So he was never intent.
Huh? I had him on the contract. I thought he was on loan.
Is it Billy
BLG.
Billy?
Yeah, it was Billy.
Oh, it's Billy Billy Gaming. Okay, sorry. I always get Weibo and Billy Billy mixed up because they are both social media platforms in China, and I don't use them enough to know the difference. Billy Billy is like Billy Billy's like Twitter, I believe.
Yeah.
So Billy Billy BLG Gaming, they had him on loan as part of the trade deal back at the beginning of the year. And he was traded back, and they were given another player, Breathe, who apparently back in spring they wanted Breathe over Bin in the first place, which is insane to me because Bin has been proven and has been a world finalist before, whereas Breathe is a rookie. It's champion pool related, apparently, is what I've really heard. At the end of the day, is that Breathe has a wider pool and he's more developable.
I mean,
which is
I think at the end of the day, RNG's like what they don't want to play through a top lane carry. They don't want like that to be their make or break, which is pretty understandable given like the state of the top lane as far as I.
Top lane's interesting right now because it's kind of weird and bruisers are kind of everything, I think. Like Wukong's one of the best champions in the game. Also Wukong in 3 roles. Let's go.
Yeah, dude.
I fucking love that shit. That's crazy.
That's great.
Dude, every game I like to pull the little stop trick on somebody and it works. Like every time.
Great champion design. Great, wonderful. Like Wukong is one
that was a great rework. At first it didn't really hit that hard for me, but now that I'm playing it more in like jungle and shit and then also support, I'm like, I'm about this character.
It's so good because it was like minor changes.
It kept the full identity of the character. It was making the clone like an actual like visible thing that like really auto attacked stuff and was useful, and then 2 spins. That's it. That's all the changes. Anyways, Bin's got traded. They have Breathe now on RNG. That's super weird that you'd have a winning player get traded like that. Like I would think that RNG would
I don't
fight
think it was RNG's call though.
Probably not. They probably contractually had to do it. But my thought is just like, bro, pay him. Just fucking pay him. Pay him and agree. It's China money. And you're winning. Yeah. You're winning. RNG has a Mercedes-Benz sponsorship.
Yeah, they do.
Like, come on, you got the money, pay for it.
I think it's like a combination of them not wanting that style or philosophy.
I mean, maybe they think they can still win.
That's
maybe they realize because they do have an accelerated schedule coming up compared to the normal season. They only have it's a single round robin instead of a double this time now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I know, and so it's like way faster, and more condensed too. And maybe they think that they have a good chance to contend for one of the 4 slots for Worlds regardless of change, and maybe they accept that because of playing in MSI they are going to have a harder time adapting to the meta for the current season, so that they accept the potential to lose summer, still go to Worlds, so this is a fine thing for them. I don't know.
Also I think it being a single round robin, just having that player with more champs under their belt is just better because then you can't anti-strat it. You have more draft advantage. I think they're playing for the long con.
I mean, what happens if they focus on someone else like Xiaohu or Gala then?
Then like if you focus on Jiaohu and Gala, then you just play through like different. You play through Breathe, right? Like that's when you set it up. Like
right.
And like with Bin, like he had like 6 champions. He was pretty much playing the entire tournament.
Bro, that guy invented fucking Omnistone, Camille, and Jax. That shit. Like, if you invent something and make it popular like that, like, you have my respect.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I liked Bin more. So like,
I do. I think like
I liked him as a player, and I thought he played great in the tournament. So
if you want to go full ham, like you probably pay the money to keep Bin, but that's probably a fuckload of money because they raised that price tag.
Let's jump over to one other Chinese team to wrap up the league section here before we go to your CS weekend. Did you hear about FPX?
No, I didn't.
So you remember how we had spring MVP of LCS Summit leave Cloud9 very suddenly?
No shit.
So allegedly, Doenb, master leaker and Chinese player for LNG Gaming, did his classic stream where he leaked information he's allowed to tell, and he revealed that FPX has signed a Korean top laner that can't be here until like July, like maybe mid-July because of visa issues. He's joining FPX, and it's because Gory was recently announced to be leaving FPX as their mid laner because he was sitting on the bench partial of the time too, apparently. And he is going to the PCS to join PSG Talon, the number 1 team in that region. Yep. And he will probably do very well there, honestly. However, plus, this means the Korean import slot is now true. Dude, they have the best merch, by the way.
Yeah, like, I mean, the PSG one of the Talon, biggest soccer teams on
right. But like, have you seen the PSG Talon like merch specifically?
Yes, I have. Dude.
There's a pink hoodie, dude. There's a hoodie that you can buy that is like the super like neon pink tie dye shit. It looks fire. I want to get one. It costs $90, so I'm not buying it. Unless you guys check out the Patreon right now. Buy us hoodies for PSG. For $3, $4, or $5, you can check out the bonus.
I'm telling you, like, I need some teams to sign me to design their merch because, like, holy fuck, we'll get into that. But you finish up with it.
No, so there's an interesting kind of thing. There's this top laner named Zhao Lahu, who has been on FPX since last year, and he even played in the time where Nuguri was fucking up FPX last year. So he's been around with the team, and he's been like, "Oh, cool, I get to play now." And then like he's been promising and looking good. Not gonna get to play again. He's gonna play for fucking 6-7 weeks of the season, and then have to sit out at the end of the Worlds run.
Well, that depends if Summit performs or not.
No, Summit will get to play. He's not gonna go on. He's not gonna go on a contract after all the visa issues and shit and not play. He's not gonna want to. It's a 6-month contract.
Play.
It's a 6-month contract.
What I'm saying is, what if he gets shit on?
He won't.
When you like think about it, like
half of that league is fucking bums, dude. I'm gonna say it. It's a 17-team league. It's the most competitive. Half of those dudes are fucking bums compared to the top like 4 in their role. If you're top 4 in your role, you are good actually. But if you're not, you can be the questionable player on your team.
That's fair.
That's the thing. You might have the 5th best top laner on your team, but you could also have the 14th best support. Statistically.
That's fair.
So I think that's the kind of crapshoot that LPL is a great region, but it's really the top. That's okay. So here's what's interesting about it: because there's so many, the top 8 are all actually competitive. So that means like the same number of total teams almost in other leagues are all competitive within that league, and the other teams will always attempt to be competitive within that league.
Yeah,
but then you also have the 16th for 17th place teams matches to watch every now and then, and those are fucking garbage because they don't mean anything.
It's like watching 2 different leagues sometimes.
Exactly. It's what I'm saying. You go from and then you have like a quality game later that night where it's like the 2nd and like the 5th place team, and it's a super close game, and the 5th place team wins and upsets them.
Yeah,
like it's and then it changes the whole standings of the league. So that league is very variable. No, I think Summit will play, and he has to because it's only a 6-month contract. So he can opt out at the end of the year, basically, if he doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Sorry, I'm turning on my light now.
For the audio listener, Parm is walking away and turning on his light.
You guys can see my beautiful face now.
All right, good.
All right, so
that's legal. So Parm, first off, how the fuck was Texas?
Okay, so Texas was awesome. I went to Austin and Dallas. We were in Austin a couple of days.
Nice.
Let me tell you, Austin, Texas is like an oasis in that state. It was so fucking chill. It's a walkable city with great bike lanes and stuff like that. We did like a brewery tour in like the back of like a rickshaw kind of thing, like an electric one. It was super cool. The dude like joined. He was like, "Hey," and like I could tell the dude had dreads and all this stuff, white dude with dreads and shit like that. And he was like, "Hey guys, so like, do you want me to join you? Sometimes people don't want me to." And I was like, "Brother, come join." Had a couple beers. We smoked a joint after it was all said and done. 10 out of 10 experience. Would love to live in Austin. Would love to be there.
Austin does seem to be the place.
And like we went to Franklin's Barbecue, which is like touted as like the best barbecue
I've heard of it.
on the planet. Yeah, like went there and so
what did you do?
So no, I didn't do anything, but like eating it, I kind of had a come to Jesus moment, and it was like that meat was the most well-made meat I've ever had in my life.
Damn.
But the sauce was kind of fucking buns.
So that's funny. I was actually going to ask you about that if you asked for sauce or anything, because Texas is traditionally more like a smoky barbecue than it is a sauce barbecue.
Yeah, that's like once
the meat itself was good, but adding something to it didn't really add anything, probably.
Yeah, so like
so if you had a bottle of like some delicious Kansas City sauce and paired it with that smoky meat.
So like if you smoked it the same way but used like a KC or like a STL, so like here we have like the mango habanero one, which is like you use that as your binder or whatever, like pre shit they do, because you have to add barbecue sauce as you're smoking it, right? If they did that, that shit becomes like, because like the barbecue sauce flavors that they had, there was normal, there was spicy, which is Austin, Texas, so not spicy, just a little more kick than normal, and then there was vinegar. Yeah, it was just brown vinegar, bro, and then coffee.
Okay, like, that's like too gentrified for only having 4 flavors.
Yo, Austin is a very, very. It's like an oversized college town because
I've heard, but like that's too far. That's if you only offer a normal spicy of vinegar, and then you offer fucking coffee, like bro, can you get me like anything else in there? How about like a honey based one? How about like I don't know, like something more, please.
It was so funny though. We got there because you have to get like in line pretty early. Like you have to get in line before it opens. I mean, like we got there at like 9 o'clock and I opened at 11. And like I'm like asking people, I was like, dude, I don't know where this line begins or where it ends. And like the crowd was like tailgating and shit there, like classic Austin shit. And like I'm like, something doesn't seem right. So I ask like the employee, I'm like, where does the line like start or whatever? And like he's like, if you're not touching the wall, you're not in line. And like he said that out loud to everybody, and I never seen so many people get up and scramble. And I'm like just standing at the wall where I thought like the end of the line was, and like fucking daggers were being shot at me. This guy was like, I think you should fucking move back. And I was like, I was going to out of courtesy, but now I kind of don't fucking want to. I ended up doing it because I just didn't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the barbecue side in Austin, good. I'm a sauce guy. It's how I've been raised. So like I will take the best sauce on the planet over the best meat on the planet. I think like
interesting.
Like yeah, like I don't know. It's just how like I just think like vinegar fucking barbecue sauce really. All right, whatever.
You know, vinegar barbecue sauce dog shit. I'm not going to say I agree with your take on best sauce over best meat.
Okay.
Because my stepdad makes these fucking smoked chicken breasts in his smoker, and they are très magnifique.
That's the thing with Franklin's is you could only get brisket and ribs. And then like so chicken wasn't on the menu, and then like they don't do burnt ends, which I'm a burnt ends guy. I fucking love burnt ends. So that like it's definitely like I give that barbecue like a 9.3 out of 10, dude. Like it was really good. Now to Dallas.
Yes, to
Dallas, dude. So I'm gonna start by saying ESL put on one of the most amazing productions ever. Like everything they did was awesome. And it's important to note that this was ESL in partner with DreamHack. And if you guys don't know, DreamHack does like gaming expo festivals and things like that. And they do like obviously bring in like random games for tournaments and just that's kind of like the secondary draw of or main draw usually. DreamHack fucking sucks. Whoever was the project or organizer for it deserves to be shot in the head.
In mid with the AK.
Yeah, in mid with the AK. So like
on
I bought
too.
these. Yeah, on Dust 2. And so like first, like starters, like none of the employees there knew anything. So like you go up and ask them a question and they just kind of told you to fuck off, which I was like, all right, whatever.
Cool.
And like you get merch credit with some of your, like if you bought like premium passes or whatever, which I did because I was like they sold out really quick. The merch credits didn't work for the first 2 days.
Oh, fun.
So if you're someone who wasn't planning on spending actual money to buy merch, your favorite jerseys or shirts probably sold out.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up
at the several esports things I've been adjacent to or heard about or been to once. You don't get there within the first couple minutes and go straight to the lines to buy shit. You're not getting what you want.
Yeah, and like they just let some dude and his kid cut in front of the entire line. I don't know why.
Kid.
Especially even after the crowd was like, "Hey, this guy cut." They're just like, "Well, he's buying 6 jerseys," and I'm like, "That's an issue." So I ended up just paying my money for my Ents jersey, and then I went back and I ended up getting like a DreamHack hoodie once the merch credit worked, and like some Cloud9 shirts because that if you didn't know what you were walking into, you just think it was a Cloud9 sponsored event because there's so much shit from them. So I didn't get my Ents hoodie, whatever. That's fine. Then like you couldn't get any Navi gear if you were not there in the first hour.
Yeah.
So that was shitty. The meet and greet lines. So I don't know if the dude was racist who was in charge of those or whatnot, because there's like I didn't get there early enough on Friday to like do G2 fucking ran. They got bounced out of playoffs so fast by Furia, and they like did their meet and greet for like 45 minutes and then just left.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't blame them, dude.
They probably that was rough. I saw the end result of that match and it was
like,
not.
I kept calling everybody nerds at this event also, which probably didn't help my case because a fucking nerd who was like trying to give me my pass, first of all, gave me a wristband. I was like, bro, no, I need a pass. I like showed you my fucking receipt at this point. And he's like, nah. And I'd like go around and talk to a million other people to get my fucking pass. Jesus. And like he like the whole time he's not listening because he keeps telling me about how he saw Nico eating pasta and kept trying to bother him. And like Nico, star rifler, and I was
all
like,
right, stop being fucking weird, man, and bothering the esports guy. Can I have my pass?
Like the G2 fans, like the CS:GO fan base for G2 is so cringe, bro. Like, let this man eat his fucking pasta. Like, I understand, like, you see the pros out, and like they're all super cool with like taking pictures. But if you're just like, if you're like, you should take your picture, tell them you love them, and then leave and let them enjoy their fucking meal. Yes. This kid was bothering the shit out of the guy. I could just tell.
Yeah, well, so, like, that's when it comes to fan interaction, you should be polite in the regards of like how that exchange should be for them too.
Yeah,
like you shouldn't be the weird starstruck guy who keeps trying to talk to them because they're there, present.
Yeah,
you should be dismissive of yourself eventually.
The weird thing is like they were doing the meet and greets like in order of who got knocked out of playoffs. Yeah. So like unless you were there like at the very first hour before Cloud9 or Ents played, they did not do another meet and greet afterwards because of a time crunch. So that would kind of suck. Even though like
venue Furia time crunches do suck.
Furia did like 3 meet and greets. It was sick. Brazilian fans, I experienced it. Brazil gaming, that whole scene. I have a Furia fucking. This was so sick. They're giving these fucking out, bro. I have a fucking scarf, bro. I am all into it, dude. Like, this is like my 3rd favorite team now.
That's sick.
Dude, like they brought an energy to the arena that was crazy. But back to the meet and greet. So there was a phase one I was trying to catch. And like the guy comes up to me and he's only eyeballing me out of this crowd of like 20 people who are trying to get in line. He was like, lines cut off. And I finally like look at him and I'm like, bro, you've only been looking at me while you're talking. Do you want to talk to the rest of the crowd of people? And like finally someone else comes up and he's like, yeah, like this is like the lines cut. They only are here for an hour. And so I'm like, that sucks. I understand though. Like these guys have lives.
Yeah.
And so I like walk around and I like the vendors were like, okay, I don't think they did a good job picking them. So we come back and like I look at the line, I'm like, yo, that shit got longer. And like, so obviously they didn't cut it off. And
that's fucked
or they were
up.
still letting people line up.
Or maybe
so
maybe the guy had the same interaction with another person right after and just gave up trying to police
I don't know.
Well,
so that's the thing. So I was like, I'm about to give this motherfucker a piece of my mind because like that's shitty that what he did. Okay. And like he makes eye contact with me and just does a 180 and just starts running away the entire time. And I'm like, okay, so so DreamHack sucks balls. All your fucking people who are employed at DreamHack suck balls.
That's
so
awful,
that was that.
Dude. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that. No, but like that was that. But that's not what I came for. I don't care. Like I can live without that, you know? Like I got to meet Furia. That was awesome. Like that's cool. I got to meet a lot of pros. I got to meet Nothing. I got to meet Jack.
Yeah, that was crazy. When you posted the C9 Jack thing, I was losing my shit.
It was like during the quarterfinals when they were playing Big.
Did you hit him with the yo, your spring LCS season though?
Yeah, dude, I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah. So I was like,
you meant Nothing.
I'm like sitting there, and the entire time, because there's random pros like around just watching, and like I saw Grim. Like I was literally looking at Grim for like 10 to 15 minutes before he was like, "Do you want a picture?" And I was like, "You are that man." And like same thing for Nothing.
Yeah.
And so Jack came out just to watch the main stage, because you know how they always watch in the back usually.
Yeah.
During the last couple rounds, and I'm like, "Is that Jack? Is that Jack?" And then like as he turns, I see Jack written on his back, and I just scream, "Jack! Jack, can I take a picture?" He was super cool about it.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my Ents jersey. Nice. And he goes, I was like, "Man, I love your work, whatever." And he goes, "Yeah, I like you, but I don't like your jersey. I don't like that shirt." And I was like, and like after we got the picture, I was like, "I don't like what you did to LS." And then he just walked the fuck away. He was so done with that shit.
No, you did not do that.
Oh yeah.
You're a fucking hero.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, of course.
You just go, "I didn't like what you did to LS." Oh my god. Dude. Fuck. Holy shit, that's amazing, Parm.
Yeah.
You're my hero.
That was super cool. And then Nothing, he was sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
And like the whole time I'm like, dude, it sounds like something so familiar. And he was just, I was like, I kept like looking at my sister. I'm like, dude, I can't put my finger on it. And he's just talking mad shit on whoever's playing on the stage right now. And he gets up because a dumbass play happened. And he sits down in front of me, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir. Are you him? Are you the man who never won a major?" And like,
did you say that?
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Did you say, "Are you Nothing?"
Like, yeah, I was like, "Are you Nothing?"
Yeah.
Well, no, I called him Skadoodle twice, just as like on accident. Yeah.
Was that
he didn't even notice that part. He was just happy to talk. Yeah, he was cool. He was chatting. I realized there's no greater feeling than making people you admire laugh.
Okay.
And so like I cracked a couple of jokes. He lost his shit. Like the fucking sign.
Yeah, dude, like, you ended up on the stream. You ended up on the stream with, dude. That was amazing.
Yeah. So when I was getting the Fury, because I didn't have anything for anyone to sign. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So I just decided I'm gonna get every pro to sign this but Cadian. I'll have him sign some other shit.
You're ruthless, dude.
Yeah. So that was cool. Made it on the stream, and like they're doing these cool things called like fan interactions. Like Paula was doing them where they would like bring up two fans, and like they'd either ask you trivia, do like a sack race, shit like that.
Sure.
And like it was so funny because like 95 or like 85% of the people were just getting cans of Monster, and then everyone else, and then the other like I guess 12% were getting like just Complexity shirts, because that was the only merch that was not moving. I was like, Nick, I think it's just all like, I'm like, if we walk out of here and the ESL stand only has like C9 and Complexity left, like that's the issue.
Yeah.
And like that was funny. And they only gave out 2 processors, and like Paula like pulled me aside. Like I got a picture with Paula afterwards, because like I was talking to him pretty much throughout the entire event whenever I could. I was like, "Nah, dude, someone else is more excited. Like you get them on. My time will come during grand finals." And like, so I didn't think he'd remember that.
Okay.
Because it was just me shooting the shit, and there's a crowd of people. Oh, another thing.
Wait,
fuck DreamHack.
Did you go on stage for grand finals for this?
No, I didn't go on stage.
Oh,
I didn't go on stage, but
for the fan interaction. Okay.
Yeah, the fan interaction happens when they cut to the breaks or whatever.
Okay.
So like the only like way you see it is if you saw the videos I have that people recorded.
Okay.
But another thing, just another fuck DreamHack. They said everything was sold out, and then like the only thing they were selling was the BYOC passes, which are bring your own computer so you can LAN and whatever.
Yeah.
Like kind of cool, not my thing.
Yeah.
But turns out they undersold the fucking floor seats. So it could have been like way more packed. More people could have gotten in for way cheaper.
Wow.
And it could have been just way crazier. So
damn.
I do the fan interaction thing during grand finals, and I get a picture with Paula, and he was just like telling me how he's like, "Dude, you're one of 3 Ents fans in this crowd. You were going crazy. Like we love that energy." And I was like, that made me feel so good. So like ESL,
yeah,
everyone
dude.
a part of that organization killed it. I mean, Cloud9 won. The funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life was seeing a crowd of Americans, a coliseum of Americans, chant USA at 4 Russian guys and a Kazakhstani dude on stage.
Hey, that's the most American thing I've ever heard.
That was
You're
the most
adopting
NA
them.
shit on the planet.
You know what? That's like the most like prophetic work that's been done by the U.S. towards the U.S. Or the Ukrainian Russian interaction is the adoption and then winning of an IEM by
So,
C9.
Like once like C9's like lifting the trophy, they're just going USA, USA, and I'm like, nobody, literally not even the coaching staff is from North America. Like they just straight up bought the org. Like
Jack's from North America though. Let's go.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, it's North American org. Whatever.
I'm sorry. I can't believe you fucking said that LS shit to Jack. That's crazy, bro. Yeah. You're a god. You're a fucking god. Okay, so it sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah. It was really cool. The Brazilians came out and started supporting the women's CS, which was hype to watch.
Fuck yeah! Did you watch any of the women's matches?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched up to like the end of quarterfinals.
Oh cool.
Because like grand final started at like fucking 9 p.m. dude. I was like, I'm tired as shit. You know what I mean? I got there at 9 a.m. to let you know. I left at like 7.
Right. You know, I saw your post with like the nacho tray, and you were like, being in the battle arena for 8 or 9 hours makes you hungry. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, Jesus, were you really there for that? I was like, no, you probably were. Like thinking about it. And that's I was thinking about the relationship of how I think about like I went to that league finals and it was great, but you only had 2 fans there. You had C9 fans, or so you had TSM fans, and you had TL fans, and that was it. Right?
Yeah.
And they had other jerseys and shit, and there was a few people who bought like 100 Thieves ones, but no one really like, you know, no one cheering for them. So you having that interaction where you're like one of 3 INTZ fans, you know, you're like that memorable guy. That can't really happen in a league environment because they don't have those kind of representations unless you're in an international tournament. So I think that's something that CS definitely has an advantage as a product.
It was so cool. Like I took pictures with like my 2 other ENT fans that were there. Like
fuck yeah,
it was hilarious. Like I remember there's one thing I started chanting. I like once it was obvious ENT was losing, and this one dude in the crowd was just being a dickhead. He kept saying like Snacks was cheating or something like that. And Snacks is like the nicest dude in all of Counter-Strike. And I just started screaming Hobbit, how much.
You cut out every word when you covered your mic just now.
Oh yeah, I started screaming, how much did you pay Hobbit for this dub? Shit like that.
Oh my god.
Man was getting heated, and like I think the only reason he didn't like say anything to me is because like there's these 2 other like there's a lot of people there who are just cynicist NA and like hardcore matchmakers. Like I sat next to 2 dudes whose combined hours was about 40,000.
Jesus.
Not playing professionally. They showed me their stat tracks, like 40,000 kills with a knife. Yeah, I realized like in the like I'm a big fan of like the professional scene, but there's people who like commit to the game like crazy.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this long enough. ESL 10 out of 10, DreamHack 0.5 out of 10. Fuck you.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, funniest thing of my life. They had a whole stage dedicated to a fucking Fortnite tournament, and there was nobody fucking playing on it. They just had dancers and a dude doing backflips while the games were being played in the like on the TV, and there's like 2 14-year-olds just losing their minds. I was like, bro, this is like a Yo Gabba Gabba concert. Like,
this is for us. This is for us.
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
It was cool.
All right. On to something that could be potentially great or potentially divisive for us here. A little bit more lighthearted, certainly, though. The everything bagel.
Yeah.
Do you eat them?
Dude, all right. So I just don't even eat bagels very much.
Whoa, man. General. Fair enough. Okay. I'll say this. I have not been one to fuck with them because I was like, I worked at Breadco for a little bit. And it was, yeah, it sounds good there. So when I worked there, I was always like, why would you do that? There's all these other options. There's like blueberry chocolate chip, you know, certain like nut, like cranberry walnut one was popular at Christmas. I was like, why would you want everything? But then I bought a thing of everything bagel seasoning.
Okay.
So I was like,
yeah, because everything bagel is just very seasoned, right?
Well, it's like got like onion and like poppy seed and just like a bunch of shit, right? A bunch of seasonings.
Yeah.
So I put that on what did I put it on? I think I put it on like a burger. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So then I tried a piece of like toast with some cream cheese on it and I put it on there. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I came to my full like breakfast routine where I'm at now. Everything bagel with cream cheese with everything seasoning on the cream cheese.
Okay. Do you ever get like the vegetable spread that they offer at like bagel places?
The vegetable spread? What do you mean?
There's like a different, it's like not cream cheese, it's like a veggie cream cheese or whatever. It's like
I know what you mean.
That is like the supreme cream cheese or topping for a bagel, I think.
It's not bad.
Now, you know it's a real divisive one, and I think we'll both like maybe answer similarly since we're both from St. Louis.
Sure.
You slice your bagel?
Like in half? Like down the middle or like at all?
Have you not seen people do this in our city?
Oh, you mean bread slicing?
Yeah, like bread slicing.
Yeah. Of course I know. I worked there. I worked at the place that basically invented this bullshit, the Panera. Goddamn reaped tequila. Yeah, okay, so okay, let me hit you with a little knowledge.
Is it an affront to bagels?
I don't think so.
Dude, I've dated 2 people from New York, and when I told them about this, it was like I was being crucified.
Well, because where are you gonna put the smear?
Wait, how are you supposed to be eating it like a fucking chips and dip? Like,
yeah, like, well, because to them, because that's the thing, they believe the quintessential bagel experience requires a spread or a smear, right? You can't do it without it. So for them, how are you even going to do this, right? And I understand that argument, but I think there is room for it in the realm of bagel, but only in very specific cases. My opinion, honestly, comes down to 2 bagels from the Panera itself: the Asiago cheese, and the cinnamon crunch. Both of them being bread sliced are very good.
Yeah,
I can do without the rest pretty much. I don't really care that deeply. And as I'll say this now, I don't eat like a lot of bagels. I've just been on a kick with this fucking everything with everything like seasoning. That's just like a little like ooh. Like the other day, I made I toasted a bagel and then I made like a little folded egg like omelet, put cheese on it, and then I put the everything seasoning in the egg. A little bagel sandwich. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Bagel sandwiches are also like fucking top tier, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like I when I was younger, I always thought that was like too much because I think like there was a couple fast food places that did them.
BLT on a bagel.
Ooh, I'll have to try that. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I'm not a big tomato guy though, so that's kind of a
rough start for me just already. The LT, dude. It's whatever you would want, right? Just bacon on that bitch with some cheese.
Just put some bacon, some chicken, some turkey, some ham, some cheese. No lettuce or tomato. Yeah, dude. Eat fresh raw pussy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to our last story for the night. Do you want to read this one or you want me to read it? I got it pulled up already. I got it. Let me go for it. Okay. So we do like to do, I think, our little third news segment to round out the pod now. I think this is the new idea.
Yeah.
And we have been leaning into the offbeat news stories out of Florida, or sometimes, like this one, Arizona.
Oh, no.
So the title of this from the Daily News, posted on wow, this was posted on January 28th, 2020. This is pre-pandemic. This is pre-pandemic. This is impressive that this is just now circulating. This is hot news here. Right, arrested Arizona penis man, in quotes, claims there are more penis men like him. Many believe that the infamous penis man graffiti artist who tagged dozens of spots in Arizona was brought to heavy-handed justice by Tempe police on Thursday. But containing the spirit of Penis Man will be much harder than anyone would have expected. According to the Phoenix News-Times, this is a report of a news story from another source of news, essentially. A man named Dustin Schomer posted on Facebook Saturday morning that he was arrested in Phoenix condo by a SWAT team. They raided my condo and vehicle and swarmed my entire complex in West Phoenix with 25 heavily armed SWAT officers and pointed silenced assault rifles in my face, he wrote. He was booked on 16 counts of aggravated criminal damage, 8 counts of criminal damage, and 1 count of criminal trespassing, all related to incidents where he spray painted Penis Man on various buildings and objects. But is Schomer the Penis Man? The one that's been tagging the spots across the state for 2 months and captured nationwide attention? Schomer says no, he's just a follower who did a few of the taggings. I'm not the original, Schomer told the Phoenix News-Times on Monday. There are hundreds of copycats with very distinctly different handwriting. Schomer said that he heard some people in Tempe Bar talking about the real, seemingly phantom-like Penis Man and got inspired to do some of his own. I thought it was a good message, he explained. He doesn't seem to be the only penis disciple. As documented by the Twitter account Penis Man Fans, the dick disciples, if you will, the cult of cock.
Yeah.
At least at least one new tag has been spotted since Schomer's arrest. Penis Man is neither a man nor a woman. You nor me. Show Marone on Facebook. We are all Penis Man. And with that, Penis Men, we are signing out. Have a wonderful night, and thank you again for joining us on the 1 to 10 podcast. Let's go, Ents. Let's go, Ents.
I think I'm probably gonna be crapping my fucking brains out.
Hell yeah, I love to hear it. I also love how you're sitting so comfortably right now. You don't even realize you're not on camera.
Oh, I could tell. I know. I'm well aware. I just looked up and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot my computer screen's tilted away. There we go.
Hey, yo, what up with it?
This is what everybody will be enjoying.
Oh God, not for free. Patreon exclusive. That's funny, dude.